Hi Parkside Kids, welcome back. I wanted to show you guys something really cool. You have been studying the Bible from the beginning, and I wanted to show you how far you are through the Bible. That's how much we've done in 1 year. There is so much information packed into this part of the Bible that you've already learned here at church. And the next year, we'll do the next section, and then the next year, we'll do the next section and we'll be done. We are going through the Bible cover to cover, and you have come a long way, so good job. Lately, we've been talking about the question, is anyone or anything greater than God? Maybe a volcano, a spaceship? Is the richest person in the world greater than God? You can pause now if you want, and you can think of some more things. Ask the people around you if they think anything or anyone is greater than God. What about abstract things, like fear? The answer is always no. God is greater than anyone or anything. So for this game, we're going to have 2 volunteers. Welcome. And one of them is going to be the artist, and one of them is going to be the clay. So the artist is going to sculpt the clay into a specific position. I'm going to show the artist what position to sculpt the clay into. And the clay is going to be flexible, and the artist will be gently moving them into the position. Okay? So here is the first.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Go for it.
Okay.
All right, nice job. We're going to compare later the clay and the model image. Okay, let's do one more. Nice. Thank you. Way to go.
Cool.
Way to go, artist. Way to go, clay.
We did it.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
So in this example, the artist was molding the clay to look like the image. And in the same way, the Israelites, they looked at their neighbors, the nations who had kings, and they wanted to be just like them. And they wanted to have a king too. This story is from 1 Samuel, chapters 8 to 15. Samuel, if you remember, was Hannah's son. Samuel was a priest, a prophet, and a judge over Israel. At that time, Israel had no king. But the leaders of Israel came to Samuel, their leader, and they said, "We want a king like the nations around us." Samuel wasn't sure how to respond, so he prayed to God. God told him, "Give them what they want. Listen to them. But warn them what it will be like to have an earthly king." A king could do harmful things. They could take their sons and force them to fight in a war. They could take their daughters and force them to work for him. Or a king could take away their fields and their servants. But the Israelites didn't care. They said, "Give us a king." So God brought Samuel to a man named Saul. "You will be king," Samuel said. Saul was surprised. He was from the tribe of Benjamin, which was the smallest tribe of Israel, and he didn't think he was worthy to be king. But when Samuel anointed him with oil, Saul's heart was changed. Later, the time came for Samuel to announce to the Israelites, "Here is your new king." But when he did that, they couldn't find Saul. God told Samuel, "There he is, hidden among the baggage." Saul was hiding. But the people ran to him and they said, "Long live the king." They were happy. Just so you know, Saul was a very tall guy. He was a whole head and shoulders taller than anyone around. And he was very handsome too. But although Saul looked good, he did not obey God. One day, Saul took an army to fight the Philistines. But the Philistines had more chariots, more horses, and more soldiers. Saul needed help. He wanted to ask God for help. He thought maybe if he made an offering to God, they would win the battle. There was only one problem. Only the priests, like Samuel, were allowed to give offerings to God. So Saul waited for Samuel to come to the battlefield, but Samuel did not come. So Saul decided to make the offering to God himself. Then Samuel arrived. "You have disobeyed God," Samuel said. "You will not be king much longer. God is going to find someone obedient to be king." Sometime later, the Israelites won a battle with a people called the Amalekites. They won, and so God wanted Saul to go into their land and destroy everything that was left, which meant every living thing, all the people, all the animals. So Saul went in, but he chose to spare the king. He saved his life. He spared the sheep and some other animals. He only destroyed the things that he didn't want, but he decided to keep the things that he did want. He disobeyed God because he kept those things alive. God told Samuel, "I regret that I made Saul king because he does not obey me." Samuel confronted Saul. "I did obey God," Saul said. "I only saved the best animals so I could sacrifice them to the Lord." Samuel asked, "Does God care more about obedience or sacrifices? You rejected his instruction, so God has rejected you as his king." Saul admitted his sin and asked for forgiveness. But Samuel told him, "God has taken away your kingship today, and he will make someone else king." Okay, kids, now what I want you to do is grab a paper and a marker or a colored pencil or something like that and draw a picture of the story that you heard today. You can maybe choose to draw a picture of Samuel anointing Saul with oil, or what you think Saul looked like as king, as a tall king. Maybe you'll draw a picture of Samuel telling Saul, God is going to make someone else king. Whatever you do, draw a picture and then tell somebody else about the story using your picture. You know that people who are missionaries in other countries, if they can't speak the same language as other people, they use that technique. It's called storying. And they share Bible stories with other people using pictures. So give it a try. Also, I wanted to let you know that this is the last week for you to send in videos of you saying Jeremiah 10:6 for us. And remember, you can earn a prize. Last week, me and 3 other Parkside kids memorized this verse in 10 minutes, so I know you can do it. It's Jeremiah 10:6. "There is no one like you, Lord. You are great, and your name is mighty in power." I know you can do it. See you next week.